Baby, I'm the gamble of your life. Why you always gotta think twice? We could go at it all night till the morning till you can't even go no more.
Davante, after Sunday's game, Aaron said his connection with you reminded him of what he had with Jordy, and that you don't really need to say anything. You can kind of just tell what each other are doing. What's the biggest key to being able to do that with him?
I mean, time, really. It's been years and years of practice reps and different things like that where we, I mean, even in practice now, sometimes it may not always click up, but when you get a certain amount of reps under your belt, I think that's what puts you in a position where now you can kind of read each other's body language. Certain routes like that third down I told you guys about at the end of the game, situations like that where I run the route completely different than how it's drawn up. And he's a smart guy too, so it's not just about reading each other. It's about being able to understand body language and different things like that. And obviously he's elite when it comes to that, so it makes it easier.
So, you guys have had a really good connection for a long time. Why do you think it's been able to take another step where you would feel that way and you're able to make a play in that situation the way you were based on that connection?
Well, I say earlier in my career, the majority of the plays that I was making, it was individual cuts on the backside of a 3-by-1 formation or something where I'd be backside and it was more rhythm throws, and he would pick. It was the yes, no. He would look backside, and if he liked the one-on-one, he would trust that I would win my route, and he would throw it. But now it's getting to the point where even if he doesn't start with me and I'll be a backside, he'll work his way back over there. And a perfect example last year, the Arizona game, he threw that touchdown to me in the back of the end zone, where he just kind of gave a quick point, and it was almost instantly where I just felt it. I knew before that's what he was about to do, so I was already prepping for the movement of it. So as he was pointing, I was sticking my foot, and it was literally like simultaneously. So situations like that where you get, it doesn't really matter how good you are, but it's more so just being able to read each other and understand, be on top of it for the next move.
So when you were really young and you watched him and Jordy like that, what was that like for you to watch, and what did you think as you witnessed it?
It was special, man. I mean, even all the way through, Jordy's whole time here when I was here, just watching it and seeing how he would move around, and it seemed like Aaron always knew where he was going to be in situations where it was really off schedule. So situations like that, I talked to Jordy about it a lot too, and it was really nothing that he could tell me because he's like, it's just a feel, bro. Honestly, you start understanding, you start getting used to the ways that Aaron rolls, the tempo. So there's times where you're going to stay on the move, there's times where you're going to stop and find a hole. And, like I said, again, with the body language, speaking with flashing hands, different things like that you can only get through the reps. And, so I try to ask Jordy, I'm like, man, I want to do that type of stuff. I want to get those type of plays because I felt early on in my career I wasn't really the beneficiary in that situation. It was mainly Jordy and Randall. And I say Jordy more so because, like I said, the more years you have, I feel like the sharper that connection gets.
Davante, what does this game mean to you, just having it being played in the Bay Area, growing up close by, playing at Fresno State, and how many people are you going to have at this and watching you?
It's going to be a lot of people there, that's for sure. It's going to be a lot of people. I got like 18 tickets right now, so it's pretty crazy. But, this is really a dream come true for me, being in this situation. Obviously, it's not me playing in the Super Bowl in the Bay Area, but it's the next best thing. So, being able to play. Being out here in Wisconsin, you don't really get, being a California kid, you don't get your family here as much as you'd like. So, being back home once earlier this year and, being able to come back again for a really big game like this, it means a lot to me because I love, I'm a big family guy. So being able to have my family there supporting me, it's going to be awesome.
Davante, with their ability to rush with 4 and then drop so many guys in coverage, what challenges does that present for you, knowing especially that you're the number 1 guy always?
Well, it puts a little bit of extra, a little added pressure on me as far as making sure I'm getting open, finding a hole or beating my guy man to man, whatever it is. And like you said, when they only send 4, it allows more to be in coverage, and it's tougher to find those holes. So it puts I just try to put the onus on me to go out there, get open, give them a nice place to go with the ball, and I can only get as open as I can. So I'm not going to be a superhero, but do as much as I can as far as make sure I beat a guy and give him a good look.
At what point in your career do you think you grasp that your release and your routes is the vehicle that separates you from other guys?
I say it was always a tool just from my basketball background. It's something that I really leaned on in college as well. But being in the league, you obviously have the added on to the route tree. So there were certain routes that I didn't get a chance to run in college that I got to come here and run in this new offense. And it really, I don't know at which point exactly it turned into that, but once I started realizing that I could lose people at the line of scrimmage and essentially run route on air, I figured that was the way to go. So I just put a lot into that, and obviously, made it a big part of who I am as a football player. So at this point, like I said, if I can get rid of you, I'd rather run the route how it is on paper. So if I can move you enough to where now I can just run a 6-step out, just vertical push, and there's a lot of little different nuances within the routes that'll change each time. But I figure it's much easier to run a route with a guy with 2 yards away from you than right next to you. That's the biggest thing. Sorry to interrupt you, but that's the biggest thing when I watch guys like Jerry Rice back in the day. Is you watch all his clips, you never see a guy just hanging all over him. It's never that. It's always him running free, and if it doesn't work out, it was something that happened within the play that has nothing to do with the DB. So I try to put myself in that position as much as possible.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. You said you put a lot into that. How much is a lot? I mean, is it an obsession? I mean, how much do you put into it?
I say obsession is a good word for it. It's something that I every day really. It's not even just like a off-season thing where I know I tweeted something out this past off-season that I was going to expand the release package, but it's something that I'm working on every day. If I come back and Jair got a hand on me on a certain release, I'm coming back reworking the release, trying to figure out how I can do it better. That's just the mentality. Because like I said, if I can get rid of you early, it's going to make it a lot easier on me.
Davante, back to your high school days at Palo Alto. I don't know how close you are with Coach Hansen these days, but how did he convince you to pick up football again? How did that unfold? And do you ever look back at that decision? Obviously, it turned out pretty good.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't just him and me playing football decision. He definitely aided me in that, but my cousin Eric Washington was definitely the guy who pushed me on that. And he kind of guided me. He told me I wanted to play quarterback, so he told me he thought I'd be a pretty good receiver. I was like, I guess. I didn't really touch the ball that much, but I guess I'll go try it and see what it's like. So got an opportunity, and obviously it's been the greatest decision of my life. But, Coach Hansen, or the Silver Fox, like I like to call him, he had a lot to do with my success early on, helped me out a lot as far as finding different schools. I only had 2 offers coming out, so I wasn't the 5-star recruit that some of the guys we have on the team or around the league, but he definitely helped me out a lot with that, and he kind of opened my eyes to a certain skill level that I had, and or skill set that I had rather, and I definitely thank him for that.
Does that fuel you at all, Davante? 2 offers, not a 5-star guy. Still at this stage of your football career, does that fuel you?
Absolutely, man. I mean, I think about it all the time. If I look across, you always get the scouting report, and you see where, who you're playing, what number they wear, and what school they went to. And I think about, the success that I've had and the success that I'm still hungry to have in my career. And, that fires me up. I went to Fresno State. People disrespected. You go in the locker room and, I'm talking with Alabama guys and stuff. They want to disrespect the school I went. And I'm like, it clearly don't mean nothing, man, because look where we are. So we figured it out.
How many stars were you?
I think, is 1 a star a thing? Is that a thing? I had to be 1 star then.
Hey, Davante, how does it take a series to really get a series to get a handle on how they are going to be defending you, and then how do you impress upon the other guys to do their part when they're one-on-ones, if there's clouds, if there's doubles, those types of things?
Well, I mean, we're going into it expecting that off the bat, obviously. I'm not going into it expecting to be singled up. So whatever it is, we're definitely going into this game with a much better plan than we did the last time we played them. The other wideouts, they definitely know, what's on them with that. I don't add any extra pressure to guys because it's the league. We talk about it, but I don't like to freak guys out by, overemphasizing how big the game is or anything like that, because you don't want people getting in their own head, because it's just a football game, and as long as you understand the urgency and it's a little different tempo to the game, a little chippier, things like that. I feel like if they know things like that, they'll be good. But I don't add too much extra saying catch the ball and all these things. They know to go out there and handle their business.
Davante, not just last Sunday, but in your career, you've had some big playoff games here that's putting you in certain spots in the record book and team history. What does that mean to you?
Means a lot, man. Obviously, I'm not after the records. Obviously, by doing what I do on the field, those will come. But I don't go into a playoff game saying I need a buck 60 this game to beat Jermichael Finley. I go into it saying, Tay, I'm gonna hold you to this is me talking to myself. I'm gonna hold you to a high standard as far as production for the betterment of the team. Obviously, we want to win the playoff game, so. I feel like if I go out there and I have a really good game, then that puts us in a better position to win. So that's the goal.
Davante, Richard Sherman has said in the past that your releases are something that best in the league. What do you have to do to make those work against him when he's covering you?
Well, I mean, it doesn't change really. It's the same as not the same as playing anybody else because he's definitely a great player, and people have said a lot about whether he's fell off or whatever, and I don't see that. I see that he's still the same guy, still making plays in respectable corner. But the way I attack it is just like every other guy. I don't try to change anything because you got a little bit more talent than the next guy. I just try to play my game and make you play my game, and then hopefully that changes the way you go about your business.
What's this week like for you? They're going to try to take you away. I'm sure in that regard it's the same as every other week, but obviously the circumstances are bigger and all that. Is it business as usual for you, or are you looking every nook and cranny to try to find any edge you can? How does it work for you?
Well, I mean, like I said, it's really just doing the same thing. I'm not trying to be a superhero. I go into the game and run my routes, catch the ball, and try to do something with it. I'm not going into it freaking out, telling Matt we need to install this play for me, that play. I let them take care of what they got to do, and I go out and try to win my routes. And that's all I can do. I'm not trying to go out here and the heroics is what can set back teams. We've experienced that in the past where, somebody tries to step up and do too much, where you just do your job and, trust the process, trust that all your teammates going to handle their 1/11th, and then we'll be good.
Davante, has anything surprised you about the unique brotherhood of this locker room this year?
Not necessarily surprised me. It's been something that's been a great thing for us, though. I know that I've definitely seen that it's expanded. Guys are spending more time outside of the locker room together, more team events, things that we haven't really done in the past, and it's bringing us closer together. I mean, it just makes you. I feel like the more you connect with a guy off the field, the better chance or the higher the chances that you'll want to go out there and lay it on the line for the guy. If it's just a stranger next to you, obviously he's on your team, you feel like you should, but if a guy truly feels like your brother, that makes it, where if I'm tired backside and I just ran my route, I might want to jog over or whatever. But if that's my brother over there and I know I see a guy going to, knock his head off, I got to go over there and get that block. And that's the type of things that I've been seeing this year. Guys like Aaron Jones obviously had like 47 touchdowns this year. But I just think back to clips where he's running on the backside after running a wheel route, going to block the far safety that, try to spring Jake for a touchdown. Things like that are what stand out to me.
Two more. Davante, if you would have told that one-star recruit that he was one win away from the Super Bowl, how do you think he would have reacted?
He'd probably be freaking out right now, which I'm trying not to do. But, I mean, we all excited in here, man. This is a great opportunity. We understand what's in front of us. Nothing to lose, but a lot to lose. We, everything at the same time. But the pressure's really on them. They went out there and they dominated us last game, and we did not take care of business the way we should have. So it's only up from here as far as how we go about it. Terrible on third down. It just wasn't a good show, and so we kind of bottled that up and that feeling, and we're ready to convert that into something great.
Davante, you said though that you're going to have a much better plan this time. You're not the first player who said that. Has Matt been really open with you guys of saying, I didn't have a good enough plan? I mean, usually when players say those kinds of things, it at some point came from the head coach.
I mean, not necessarily. I don't remember if he specifically mentioned that, so I don't want to, put that quote on him. But it's the obvious. Obviously, if we left out the game with 8 points and lost by 20s or whatever it was, obviously the plan wasn't good enough, and that's not a knock on Matt or anybody. The execution obviously wasn't good enough too. So those go hand in hand though. So the plan so far, what I've seen, I really like, and I think that it's a better way to attack this defense. And yeah, we all jacked up for it.
Baby, I'm the gamble of your life. Why you always gotta think twice? We could go at it all night till the morning till you can't even go no more. You like it, don't even deny it.